wish upon a star, you'll become the person you've always wished to become. So, are you happy with yourself, Terrance? Or do you just not know who you are at all?
Hey everybody, it's Max here, and thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and taking interest in this. So if you don't know, or if you haven't followed my Tumblr or anything like that, I am in the plans for a new series, which is kind of ridiculous because I know I have Tokyo Magic Star to work on. However, I wanted to do something kind of out of my realm. I wanted to try out some new different character types, and I wanted to try some new things animation wise and actually try and do some animation for once in my actual life. I wanted to have a whole new show with a whole new vibe. Again, as I always say, this does not mean Tokyo Magic Star is going on pause or hiatus or a halt or anything like that. I'll still be working on Tokyo Magic Star, but I also wanted to tackle this as well. Since I have not introduced this series on my YouTube yet, please allow me to introduce to you my new idea. So, Terrance Terribly Troubled is a dramatic slice of life and shoujo-inspired series about a meteor shower raining above a small town in Japan known for their starry skies. After residents are told to wish upon a star every shower, protagonist Terrance follows a meteor that seems to land rather than just burn out. There he finds a girl who starts freaking out and acting as if she had been caught in a crime. Crawling out of the crater, the girl runs off, leaving Terrance terribly troubled. The next morning, the town is full of life, and no one is who they were the day before, and no one seems to remember who they were the day before. However, Terrance is exactly the same, and he hasn't forgotten a thing. Filled with growing friendships, romances, lost memories, sad realizations, and the pursuit of happiness, Terrance Terribly Troubled is a show of nothing but self-discovery and realizing one's self-worth. So, I have finished all the character cards, so I'm going to introduce some of the characters, our main cast for you, and auditions are also opened over on Behind the Voice Actors casting call section. So, if any of these characters strike your interest, please be my guest in audition for them, because that would mean the world to me, and I really want this series to do decently well. So, here we go. So first off, we're going to start with Terrance. Terrible Terrance. Terrance is 18 years old. He's a male. He reaches 5'9". He's 161 pounds, and he is a Japanese-American mix with a birthday on New Year's Day. So he was born in Seattle, Washington. When he was a kid, he moved around a lot, so Terrance never really had a chance to discover who he himself was or really get to know anybody. So he's pretty quiet. He's always disassociated from conversations. He tries to be really logical and not get too attached to anything. And he's also very apathetic. Out of the very few interests that he does have, he enjoys stargazing. His mother used to always tell him his freckles made him a little star boy. He likes playing the guitar on occasion, just kinda, not anything serious, but just a little dabbling. What is the word for this? I don't know, he likes playing it sometimes. Terrance also enjoys baseball. He played a little bit as a kid, but again, not anything too serious. Now, the type of voice that I'm looking for Terrance, I want somebody who can really show boredom in their voice, but I also need someone who can show an incredibly wide variety of emotion. Terrance is our male protagonist, and he is the one who's going through a really big emotional change. So I really need to cast someone who can take that on, because unlike everyone else in the series, Terrance has no idea of the person that he wants to become. Terrance is overall the most uncomfortable with himself, so he has the most work and he has the biggest character arc. So I really need someone who can show me an incredibly wide variety of emotion. So our next character is Illumi, who I have shamefully casted myself in that role. Illumi is our female protagonist. She's very questionable in a bunch of different regards. Her age is unknown. We know that she's a female, or presented as a female at least. Her height is 5'3", she weighs 132 pounds, and she claims that she is a star. So Illumi's birthday is also very questionable. No one really knows when she was born. Her birthplace is in the meteor shower Perseids. Her personality, she's very blunt, yet soft-spoken. The way that she thinks is incredibly eccentric, and that makes her kind of whimsical. Her interests are curry bread, playgrounds, and she really loves playing the tambourine. So our next character is Miraiko, who is 17 years old. She's female. She's a male to female transgendered girl. Her height is 5'5". Her weight is 157 pounds. She's Japanese, and her birthday is on 6/19. Her birthplace is where our story takes place, actually, in Bisei, Okayama, Japan, which is known for their starry skies and having a really cool observatory. It's a real place. Check it out. No one lives there. It's a really small town. Her personality, she's really kind-hearted. She's a self-motivator, and she's also pretty comedic at times. Her interests are street fashion, fireworks shows, and nail art. Alright, so for Miraiko, I don't really have a voice range that I'm looking for. All I ask is that you please note that the character is not cross-dressing. If you're a male, cis male, and want to audition for this character, please note that this character is not cross-dressing and is literally identified as a transgender character throughout the series, besides the first episode when she's not comfortable telling anybody and whenever they're still in their original realm of the world. I really don't want to cast anyone who wouldn't resonate with the fact of her being a transgendered character, and I would really prefer to cast someone who is male to female if that is humanly possible. If it's not humanly possible, that's okay, but if it is, I really would prefer to cast this role and give this role to someone who is actually transgendered. So our next character is Marius, who is 18 years old. He's male. He reaches 5'11". He's 164 pounds. His race is Japanese. He was born on 3/12, and he was born in Ebisu, Shibuya, Tokyo, Japan. His personality, he's kind of he's a very realist character. He's very realistic. He tries to be, at least. He's very flirtatious at the same time. He has that definite cool boy, cocky vibe to him, but he's also very paranoid about things, and he's also very loyal. His interests are his family and his friends, laying outside, and also fashion. Now, Marius does come across as a really cool, angst-ridden, realist type character. You know, you're very stereotypical bad boy, but he's also very loyal to his friends and family, and he's also kind of paranoid about this whole situation. Marius is very similar to Terrance in the regard that he also has vague memories of the town before the meteor hit land, whereas Terrance has full memory. Marius does remember things here and there. Out of the whole cast, Marius probably has the saddest backstory, and he's also the most emotional, so again, I'm going to need a pretty emotional male vocal for this character. Our next character is Toteto, but I like saying Totato because it's kind of like potato. So Toteto, which is nicknamed as Teto, just to make it easier, she's 18 years old. Her gender is female. Her height is 5'2". She's 112 pounds, and she's a Spanish-Japanese mix. Her birthday is 7/11, and her birthplace is Yakage, Okayama, Japan, which is very close to the setting of our story. Her personality is she's kind of ill-mannered, so she'll be picking her nose in the middle of class. But overall, Teto is very loyal. She's a dreamer, and she's also pretty creative. Her interests are bell collecting, the forest, and dancing. I kind of have a picture in my head for Teto's voice. I'm looking for a medium-ranged voice. I also need someone who can kind of slur their words sometimes due to talking pretty quickly, or somebody who might have an accent, kind of I'm thinking maybe kind of a countryish accent, but really I'm okay with anything. I just want something. She needs something weird. I really like Teto, and she's probably the weirdest character out of this besides Guru, who we will get to, but I really want to have fun with Teto, and I want whoever's auditioning for Teto to have a lot of fun with her as well. So our last character that is up for auditioning, and our last of the main characters, this is Guru. Guru is 17 years old. He's a male. He reaches 5'6". He's 140 pounds, and he's Japanese. His birthday is on 10/21, and he's incredibly pissed because it's not on Halloween. His birthplace was Nichitsu, Chichibu, Saitama, Japan, which is actually a ghost town. So his personality, he's pretty airheaded, he's always really optimistic, and he's childish, yet he also really shocks people sometimes because he's randomly extremely wise. His interests are theater, music, horror, and he loves antiques. The type of voice that I want for Guru, I kind of want a deep voice for Guru, but again, as I am with all the characters, I am very open to hearing pretty much anything. So that's all that I have for the characters, and that's all that I have for the series right now. If you guys want to audition, but you don't want to audition on the website on Behind the Voice Actors, my email is in the description below, and you can just send me an email with your files. If the files are too big, or if the files you just don't want it to be publicly heard or anything like that, feel free to just shoot me out an email. If you want to help with anything else besides voice acting, I have had a couple people who want to help me out with the art and things like that, with promoing, things like that. If you want to do any of that, just send me an email as well. I'm completely fine with anybody reaching me out through email. And thank you guys again for taking interest, and I hope that you guys have an awesome day, and I cannot wait to hear your auditions and hear some emails and talk with you guys, and just really, I want you guys to have fun with this, because I'm having fun with this and I don't want to take this too seriously. So thank you guys again, and I hope to hear back from you guys soon, alright? Bye!